Plato's cave theory applied to movies and TV by Ava Parr and Tyler Mclaughin.
Plato's cave is a theory developed by the Greek philosopher Plato. The theory imagines people chained inside of a cave by their hands, feet, and neck, forced to face the wall of the cave. Behind the prisoners there is a fire, and in between the prisoners and the fire there are people and animals on a raised walkway with a low wall. However, since the prisoners are chained, all they can see is the shadow of these people and the other things on the wall. Because of this, the people chained only know the shadows and believe that this is the only way of life. And if the narrator believes that, then if one of them were to escape the world and come back and try to free the others, however, the others don't believe him, as the shadows are all they know. However, at the end, Socrates and Mclaughin agree that the other prisoners would likely kill those who try and free them, as they would not want them to leave the safety and comfort of their known world.
What is Plato's cave, and how does this theory connect to modern-day life and media? So, mediated reality and perception. Just as the prisoners see only shadows, people today often experience the world through screens such as news outlets, social media, and entertainment. These platforms filter and frame information, potentially shaping distorted perceptions of reality. Media can become a kind of shadow play, emphasizing certain narratives while omitting or simplifying others. Manipulation and control. The puppeteers in the cave control what the prisoners see, similar to how media companies, governments, or algorithms might control what content is visible or prioritized online. Echo chambers and filter bubbles reinforce specific worldviews, making it difficult to see or accept alternate perspectives. Resistance to truth and enlightenment. Like the freed prisoner returning to the cave, whistleblowers, journalists, or critical thinkers who challenge dominant media narratives may force ridicule or disbelief. People often resist truths that disrupt their comfort zones or challenge their beliefs. Media literacy as liberation. Education, critical thinking, and media literacy can be seen as paths out of the cave. They allow individuals to question appearances and seek deeper truths beyond what's immediately presented.
The Lego Movie might just seem like another fun animated adventure, but it's packed with deeper meaning and clever symbolism. The story starts with a prophecy about the Special, a hero who's supposed to stop the villain Lord Business from using a mysterious weapon called the Craggle. The only thing that can stop it is the piece of resistance. Emmett Burkowski, an average construction worker, stumbles upon the piece by accident after following a strange woman named Wildstyle at his job site. From there, Emmett is mistakenly declared the Special, and he is dragged into a wild mission to save the Lego universe. He's captured, loses a friend, escapes, and eventually rallies the citizens of the Lego world to rise up against the Lord Business. At first glance, this feels like a pretty standard hero story, but then the movie takes a turn. We find out that all the Lego world is actually part of a kid's imagination. The Craggle is just a dried up tube of crazy glue with some letters rubbed off. And Lord Business represents the boy's father, who's been gluing Lego sets together to keep them exactly how he wants them, frustrating his son's creativity. In the end, a heartfelt speech from Emmett changes everything. Lord Business decided to change his ways, and the boy's father has a similar realization that being in control all the time isn't worth crushing someone else's imagination. With that, the piece of resistance is used to seal the glue, and both the Lego world and the real world are saved. It's a story about creativity, freedom, and learning to let go of control.
The Plato's cave theory can also be seen in Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. This movie sparks the imagination and challenges viewers to think beyond the boundaries of Earth. The story follows Cooper, a former pilot turned farmer, who leaves a dying, dust-ridden planet in search of a new home for humanity. Through a series of unexpected events, Cooper ends up near a black hole. Using its gravity to propel himself forward, he enters a Terazakt, which is a strange, higher-dimensional space that's best described as another realm. From inside this space, he's able to send critical information back to Earth, helping to ensure humanity's survival. In a symbolic sense, this other realm represents the world outside Plato's cave. Cooper has to undergo a long and difficult journey, both physically and emotionally, to reach it. On a deeper level, the Terazakt also represents a deeper cave of knowledge. What Cooper discovers there doesn't just save the human race, but it allows him to reach back and enlighten others, spreading the idea of bringing truth to those still trapped in the shadows.
Shutter Island is a psychological thriller where U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels goes to Ashcliffe Hospital, a psychiatric institution on a secluded island, to inquire about the vanishing of a patient, Rachel Solando. He is joined by his partner Chuck as they start to suspect the hospital authorities are doing secret activities. Throughout working on his research, he also experiences violent nightmares and hallucinations concerning his tormenting past life, like the experiencing visions of World War II and his wife's early death. The deeper Teddy delves, the more sure he is that something evil is occurring on the island, with unethical tests and hidden truths at stake. As the suspense rises, Teddy obsesses over locating the name and address of another guy named Andrew Lattice, whom he blames for his implication in the enigma and for murdering his wife. Suddenly, the film twists. Teddy is not the man who he believes he is. Actually, he is the one who's Andrew Lattice, a hospital patient who created the character of Teddy Daniels to cope with the guilt of having murdered his wife when she drowned their children. The investigation was a pretend trial therapy that hospital personnel created as a last measure to attempt to shatter the delusion of Andrew and confront him with reality. The deconstruction of identity and reality is mirrored in Plato's allegory of the cave, wherein the prisoners confuse the shadows with reality due to the fact that they have never encountered the world beyond the cave. Just as the prisoner is being pulled from the cave and presented with the blinding brilliance of his son, Andrew must face the aching reality of his own history. The deception he holds onto is a shadow that protects him from guilt and despair. His foreboding final words suggest that he would rather remain ignorant than face the harsh truth, leading us to wonder if, in some cases, ignorance is the kinder path.
Finally, Us is a horror thriller about a woman named Adelaide Wilson who takes her husband and 2 children on a family vacation to Santa Cruz. As she tries to relax, Adelaide becomes increasingly restless, haunted by a traumatic experience from her childhood of a visit to a beachside funhouse. Her fears are compounded when a group of malevolent strangers materializes outside their vacation home, doppelgangers of the Wilson family determined to inflict violence and harm. These doppelgangers, being the Tethered, soon prove to have risen up from under the ground to destroy their surface counterparts. While the family tries to survive, the truth regarding the Tethered is slowly revealed. They are the result of a clandestine government experiment that created clones of people but failed to contain them, so they were left in abandonment beneath the Earth's crust. Adelaide comes face to face with her twin, Red, who recounts the story of the Tethered and their desire for liberty. In a final twist, it is revealed that Adelaide and Red actually switched places as children. The real Adelaide has been living in hiding ever since, and the Tethered version took her place in the world above and lived a normal life. This turn resembles Plato's allegory of the cave, whereby prisoners confuse shadows with reality before one of them escapes and encounters the world for what it actually is. Us has the world above superficially believing itself to be free while ignorant of the shadow-like existence of the Tethered down below. Adelaide, like the escaped prisoners, has seen both worlds, but unlike Plato's allegory, her return to the cave meant a stolen life and concealed truths. The film suggests that we assume is real life is only a comforting illusion built on unseen suffering just out of sight.